there it is. Hey, better late than never. And usually it's late, and not very few times is it never. It's Boogie with the Bull Tuesday Night Live. Dave Gloven on your left. Jen, the homeschool mom, Woodruff, is with us on the right side of your screen. Very smart lady. We tell you, if you're looking for information on homeschooling, talk to Jen. She's in that big nationwide homeschooling association of people who I think have been successful in saying that if you are paying school board taxes in your city and or county, you can in fact reclaim that money or not pay those taxes and use them to support your child's homeschooling education. I may not be 100% right the way I worded it there, but it's within the meaning that several people, along with Jen, have also told me that you can in fact, I guess, petition your school board. And if you're homeschooling, you don't pay the taxes to the school board, but I guess you have to show them that you are in fact homeschooling and not just putting the tax money in your pocket.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how all of that works, but it sounds fantastic. And I have fought for homeschoolers being able to play school sports because we pay the same taxes. If we're paying the taxes and supporting the school board, they should be allowed to play too. And so I'm really happy.
I thought you had said long ago on a broadcast that supposedly the school board was required to make after school sports, choir, band, whatever, available to homeschooling students because in theory, most of them are probably still paying their taxes to the school, to the school rather than, doing the smart thing and talking to a qualified financial professional and being told whether or not you can in fact deduct it and keep it. So again, I will run a disclaimer that the views expressed on tonight's Boogie with the Bull broadcast are always the views and or opinion of me, Dave Gloven, and the No Budget Broadcasting Company. And if we are wrong, then we give you an opportunity to come on to Boogie with the Bull and tell me that I'm wrong. No one has accepted that opportunity in 4 years, but that does not necessarily mean that I have not ever been wrong.
Right. It kind of depends what state you're in, but that's great.
Well, Boogie with the Bull is incorporated in the state of confusion.
That's funny. Is that one? I don't think that's one of the 50 states, but that's okay. It sure feels like.
It is not one of the 50 states, although I am governor emeritus of the state of confusion because we elected a governor once back in 1962, and he's still governor because no one has decided to run. All the voices in my head have not decided to run against me.
That's funny. No, I posted a meme earlier about the Ukraine being our 51st state. It feels like that because we're giving them so much money. But that's a point that I'll talk about later.
No, that's okay. Matter of fact, if we did that, Randy Rhoads last night said he thought that we should take over Ukraine because we have given them all of that money.
Right.
And as we were talking about this now, when you kind of brought it up, my thing is that, we should take over the Ukraine and we should move the United States Treasury to Ukraine because that's all they do. And the IRS, because let the IRS tax people in Ukraine.
No kidding. Why are they taxing us and taking our money if they're doing just fine printing new stuff? Just print what you need. I mean, they're going to do it anyway, and we have to pay it back, or our children have to. The whole thing is really messed up. So we need a parent. We need a parent in the house. That's why we all want Trump.
The whole thing with the Fed is even worse. I caught a Scott Pelley and Jim, whatever, Powell, the guy that's the chair of the Fed,
right?
Interview, and it basically sounded like Scott Pelley got him to admit that the Fed was created mainly to create inflation and have us in debt.
Wow.
So we're in debt to the Fed, and the Fed is not a government organization. So I'm hoping that President Trump has so many things on his calendar that he has to take care of the first day he sits down in January 25 and gets back to work, is that we have the House and Senate look at the Fed.
Right.
And in theory, shut it down. Because we have the IRS. And the IRS is responsible for taking in all the money in taxes and making sure it goes to whoever and it gets paid. So we don't need the Fed. Because from what I understand, the Fed is only responsible to Washington, D.C., where the Fed board sits. It is recognized. The 12 Federal Reserve banks are actually independent banks operated by themselves.
Wow. There is so much double dipping. It's ridiculous. Like the ATF. Why do we have that group? Why do we have the BLM? Well, okay, so let's go with the ATF. What's the ATF for? Alcohol,
tobacco,
and firearms. But and they're the only ones who can regulate that? No, we also have the NRA. Well, they're another entity.
No. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms is the law enforcement arm of the Department of Justice that regulates alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. But then again, every other three-letter agency of the Department of Justice Incorporated probably regulates alcohol, tobacco, and firearms too. And I don't smoke. So because I don't smoke and I don't drink alcohol very much, I should be able to deduct from my taxes all the alcohol that I don't drink or the limited amount that I do drink. I don't own a gun. And I love all of my friends who say you should own a gun. You should be proficient in how to use one. I have fired a gun 6 times in my life. I passed the class to own one. I actually fired 6 shots. I landed on my rear end after each time I fired a .357 Magnum. I have no idea how I can explain. I hit the yellow, which is, I guess, the bullseye on just over the black line. And then I was 5 times in the other, which means that you're a pretty good shot. I'm not a pretty good shot anymore, even with my glasses, which correct one eye to 2020 and one eye to, I think, 2010, which is better than 2020. I still wouldn't trust my aim. You know,
wow. Well,
I'd be firing for the person on the screen next to you, and I'd hit you by mistake, which I don't want to do.
That would be bad.
I wouldn't do that anyway. But go ahead.
What is the BLM? The
Black Lives Matter.
No, not that one. The federal agency, the Bureau of Land Management, the ones that shot Finnegan. I can't remember his name, but Leroy, I don't know.
Oh, Leroy, yeah, they took over his ranch.
Yeah, because he was outside and it looked like he was reaching for something. No, he wasn't. And so they shot him. That was the BLM. And don't they do the same thing that the EPA does? Regulate the land? What does the EPA
Isn't the Bureau of, right, but then if there's a Bureau of Land Management, wouldn't that be part of, I guess, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, which is somehow part of the Interior Department? Although I don't know where the Interior Department actually is, or if it even exists anymore. And I will credit Michael Anthony for not knowing where they are, because back when Michael Anthony was giving us homework of all the executive orders he said to read, and he gave them to us in order of how important they were. It appears that when Nixon signed the executive order, I forget exactly when, giving the United States of America to the Interior Department, I guess what it looks like is the Interior Department at that point was working to what would later become under Bush Jr. the Department of Homeland Security.
Oh,
just another step in the cog that says we're so screwed up that we're not a country anymore. We're a corporation operating under this constitution, and then that constitution went back, or that company, that corporate went bankrupt or got changed and became something else. And I guess I hope we do get a man like Trump who comes in and just says, no, we are the United States of America. We have a government. Our government is elected by us, for us, and they're supposed to do this. And if you're not doing this, then maybe it's time to eliminate your department.
Wow. Right. We have these people in these different departments, and then at the same time we have a constitution, and that is what should every election matter. Love her, Suzanne.
She's a great person. She really is.
Isn't she? She's great.
She's
good
a
stories.
very great person.
It sounds like it's fake. It's not a story. Yeah. It's a real life experience.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
If you haven't gone back and watched I think it was the 16th. Yeah, Tuesday the 16th. Jen moderated Suzanne through a fantastic broadcast. Last time I looked, which was a little over a week ago, it was over 300 views and still growing. I put it on Streetlock, and I think a member of Streetlock who is like a serial drive-by poster of websites. She just goes from one network to the other and grabs the best, grabbed it, and I don't know where she posted it. And I'm still waiting for her to get back to me as to where she showed it. Speaking of that, tonight we are live on the Dave Wilson profile here on Facebook with a live chat. We are live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. We are live on @BoogieWTBull, @BoogieWTBull. That's our X account. So if you follow us on X, it's @BoogieWTBull. We're linked to that. There's no live chat, but you can watch. And we are embedded on Streetlock on my Streetlock profile. So you can watch there. There's no live chat there either. All of you that are embedded or linked from the YouTube channel, you have to go to the YouTube channel if you want to be in the live chat. And now we get back to the program. And if we're not yet somewhere either live or a podcast that you think we should be, people message me and let me know. And we have the best engineering team in the business working on that will make sure we are set there in a reasonable amount of time.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I'm excited about tomorrow's show that we're doing at lunchtime, 12 o'clock. It's about
no, okay. He misunderstood that if he thinks the broadcast is tomorrow at 12 noon.
Oh.
It's the Robert Angel. Robert Angel got an Android cell phone and got Chrome installed on it. And so tomorrow at 12 noon, we were going to do a test like I did with Susan that wasn't being recorded, and just to make sure that everybody could get connected and all. That's all we're going to do. But Robert doesn't know that 12 noon test tomorrow has to be canceled because I have a doctor's appointment that I cannot cancel. So
I see. Well, when we do
that has to be rescheduled. But I will make sure we get the test with Robert done as soon as possible. And tentatively, Robert is scheduled for February 7th.
Okay.
This is March 7th. May 7th. That is unless we can do a test before Thursday or Thursday before the broadcast and it works and you're available to do the interview Thursday night at 7 p.m.
Right. I think
so.
You,
all right. As long as you are available.
I'll double check.
You double check. And I can do the test with Robert. I just have to push it back a little bit.
Sure. Well, I'm excited to do that show because
I'm looking forward to it.
About a nation in decline and the fall of Romania. It's called the Christmas Revolution. And this Romania, it's like declined so many times. Been given over to dictatorship, been given over to communism. Then it comes back. And
was he involved with the Romanian government in Romania? Was he like I don't want to say spy or something, but was he like
No,
in the corporation in Romania
no,
before he left and came here?
Yeah, I call him exile. I call him.
Did he actually get exiled, or did he
Did, and so
just come here on his own?
he may have come here on his own, but he goes by a pseudonym,
Yeah.
and we always say he's in an undisclosed location. And I
Well,
got his
we do
I
that
got this
also.
idea after watching a show. What was it? Something. It was a YouTube by this guy named Doug in Exile, and I'm like, oh,
Okay.
Robert. You're going to
Yep.
be Robert in Exile. He's like, I already have a fake name. I'm like,
he's
oh,
a
okay.
brilliant guy. He's written a bunch of
Right.
books that I can't name off the top of my head, and I should, because I promote everybody else's books
Right.
on the broadcast. But
something about the end of innocence.
Yeah, he's a very something was posted in Red Patriots for America one night, and I think it rubbed him the wrong way. I don't even remember what it was. And then he and I started talking, and it took me 3 days to read his profile, the profile that he sent me on Messenger, because I just had to cross-reference everything I could and this and that and the other stuff. And then we had the problem. We brought him on, and his laptop is probably older than both of us, and his internet in his home, he said, was slow, but he did, I guess, acquire an Android phone, and he has Chrome, and hopefully we'll get a test done tomorrow. It's just I have to push it back a little bit with him, and as long as we can do that, then we will get it done. But speaking of other broadcasts coming up, Susanna Cardo, our
survivor.
Our survivor. That's right. That's a trafficked adult who not only survived but has escaped. Is very active in helping others deal with that if they can. Unfortunately, it's a life on the run, a life in the dark. Even though we had her on, and we had a box that had a picture of her, I was sitting there the whole time going, praying and this and that nobody makes any kind of a move based on watching us on a broadcast. It is an important subject. We will bring it up probably every couple of weeks, because I seem to be talking to more people indirectly that I've known on Facebook for long periods of time that actually mention they are, and they would come forward. And Bonnie Johnson is confirmed for the April 30th, Tuesday. Suzanne is confirmed. Bonnie confirmed that Bonnie was a trafficked adult, and that's all the information that she has given me. Bonnie usually releases as she's comfortable, and she's everywhere. And she's done a lot of quote unquote national news broadcasts. So to have her down in the trenches with us is really appreciated.
Right. She wrote a program.
Facebook premeditated social media tool. And one of the things that it can do is track predators, and she's using it to track predators. Facebook uses it for something else. They track things on Facebook with it, but they don't acknowledge that they're claiming, or don't acknowledge that they are using it to track.
They're not stalking us. No. So funny.
You are so tracked by them every single day, everywhere you go, even if your computer is turned off. Donna and I were laying on the bed the other day watching TV, and my phone was, I think, turned off because it was charging. Donna's phone was on because she was looking at something, and we were talking about something. And when I logged into Facebook, I had all these posts throughout Facebook.
Advertisements for what
notified me that they discussed it. The advertising thing was pretty scary. That really bothered me. that was having a conversation about a specific car with someone and logging into to Marketplace. And usually when you log into Marketplace, you type in what you're looking for and you answer a whole bunch of questions about it. And then boom, you get sent to all of the ads. I hadn't done any of that. And the first ads, there were 15 ads for the exact car. 10 of them were the exact color, the exact interior, the exact interior color, all of the options that I wanted.
That's scary.
At 5 dealers between Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Massachusetts and Rhode Island in my area, 3 of which I know the owner of. I think 4 of the 5, the Mercedes that we leased was serviced at 3 or 4 of them during the time we leased it, and banks. And I had, like I said, I've never had a credit card in my life until 62 years old. So but banks that would have approved me if I had applied, and I have no idea why. But it's just scary. So
right.
And if you play the old game, you open up your laptop and you put a piece of tape over the camera, or you put a piece of tape over the screen and you block it. Supposedly, people tell me there are still other cameras hidden within your computer that you don't know about, that you can't find. Supposedly, if you take a Windows laptop and hit it with a sledgehammer, the cameras still work. I don't know.
Funny.
I just got to a point a long time ago where it's like, I get upset when people make a big deal over who's watching me or listening to me, because they've been listening to me for a very long time. I've had one of these for almost like 45 years.
A cell phone for 45 years.
Well, I mean, we had two-way walkie-talkies that were UHF business band. No, actually, yeah, UHF business band, and then a ham repeater linked to it so we could make phone calls over the ham repeater, or make phone calls over the ham repeater. It was really cool. Expensive,
I remember my dad
really cool.
My dad got one of the first cell phones and he was so excited. It was his bag phone. He had to carry it everywhere. It's like he had a man purse, but it wasn't a purse.
My father had one, and it was mounted under the seat of his car, under the front driver's seat of his car.
Oh, that's funny.
And I think it was wired in so that it was always charged. And he only used it in emergencies, like if his car broke down and he needed to call AAA, or every once in a while he would make a call from it and put it on speaker because he wouldn't drive with it in his hand.
Oh, that was wise.
But very, 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 very rarely used it. And I remember one of the cabs I drove for a while after I sold mine. The owner bought one from a Army surplus store that was in a backpack that had to weigh 25 pounds. I mean, and he did it because he was afraid that everybody would take it out of the car and use it to make phone calls. And then I said to him one day, "You understand, Kip, no one can do that." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because it has to be plugged into the car in order to work. It doesn't have a charging battery. It just has to be plugged in so that it works. So no one's going to take your phone and carry it out of the car and make phone calls. We all have our own."
Right.
But anyway, they were fun. They've always been a fun thing to have. But I mean, you're monitored over that. Your carrier monitors every call you make, every incoming call you make, you get. If you use MapQuest or Google Maps, You're tracked that way. And the bad thing with Google Maps is if you have maps installed on your phone, even if it's not turned on and you drive by someplace, you'll get an email asking you to comment on your experience. And I've noticed in a few places in town, I get an email asking me how I enjoyed my experience at Doofus Brothers Tires. And I wrote back to them, my only experience at Doofus Brothers Tires is that we passed it and there's a traffic light at it and it was red and we were there. And every other time they send me that same thing, it's the same thing. We were in the car at that traffic light. Our visit was very nice. The light turned, our business was excellent.
Did you get a coupon? Yes. Did I get a coupon?
We stopped because the light was red. And when the light turned green, we were the first car and we carried on our way. But
I can't stand those surveys. I'm telling you why, Dave. They are what you're doing when you answer those. You are training the AI. You're training artificial intelligence. Seriously, I don't do the people really care. That's like total approval addiction. It's stupid. It's like, was I good? Did you like it? But it's like, no. Are you going to give me a coupon? No. We are programming your AI. That's what they're doing.
I am going to do something I thought I would never do. Although I did actually post and thank them. But the Facebook Dave Glovin AI team, which is part of Team Meta AI, must have gone through my Facebook account. Every broadcast that had a copyright violation that I had appealed was appealed, and the beat down, the muted whatever we said was put back in. Everyone going back to 2022.
Oh, that's crazy.
The only reason I was looking is because now if I comment on a new members welcome post in the group, in any group of ours, I get a 1 hour. The post isn't posted, and I get a 1 hour restriction from being able to comment on posts for doing so. So I've been trying to go through all of my violations or look for them, sending me notification of, why I'm being punished. All of my spam or community standards censorship things that I appealed or didn't appeal, they're all still there. They're not touched. But the broadcast number one violation on Facebook is copyright violations, and there had to be, I don't know, like 40 of them, and they've all been reversed. Except some of them, it says the audio may not be restored in some locations, and it's Belarus, which I think is like somewhere near Russia or part of Russia, and one other place. And the guy in China who, like every other year, writes Facebook USA and insists he owns the name Boogie with the Bull.
He says it's his, not yours. Oh wow!
And what I did to get Facebook to not accept that complaint from him or anybody else anymore is I contacted my friend Cookie Malone, who wrote the song, and I said, take the sheet of music that you have the song published on, print it up. On the back, write, I have unlimited lifetime permission to say Boogie with the Bull, dance Boogie with the Bull, sing the song Boogie with the Bull on any Boogie with the Bull broadcast at any time. And since I did that, I've never heard from that guy in China.
Oh, that's funny. Well, since you're poking the bear, it's like.
Well, all right, hold on just a second. We interrupt this. Randy Rhodes says, sorry about not making the broadcast, but his gout has cleared up tremendously and he is in too much pain. All right, Randy. So tonight, if you put your paragraph size comments in the live chat, we will make sure that we include you and we will bring you on the panel for testimony at a future time and date, like tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I hope.
Wow, that's
Let me
funny.
know. Let me know if you can't be that. I understand. Gout. Gout can be a terrible thing.
Oh, that's so
Uh,
uncomfortable.
you know, back pain from a bad chair can be a terrible thing. I got a new desk chair finally, and
Every joint. Oh my gosh.
and
Anyhow, I was saying every time you poke the bear, I think they're noticing me because we do broadcast together.
yep,
Because now I'm getting in trouble for violations I've already been in trouble for. Only
right,
now, if they don't put you out for a month or a week, they just put me out for an hour here and an hour there. And I'm like,
yeah.
shut up.
And it's stupid because it's like I got I got an hour restriction, which was basically not being able to post a comment on welcome posts in Red Patriots for America.
Oh my
My group, my
gosh.
group, my group.
It's like putting a child in
And it
timeout.
would
It's
and it would
absolutely
and then
ridiculous.
when I tried to edit it, for trying to edit it, I got another hour. And I think when I deleted it, I got another hour. And I've been telling people in that to join. I tell people now, join Red. If you see me complaining about the 1 hour restriction, join Red. Just for that reason, join Red Patriots because I'm proud to get a 1 hour restriction for every person I welcome into
Red
Red
Patriot.
Patriots for America. But anyway, what else?
Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, which kind of dovetails into the Romanian
Okay, yep,
interviewer, and
Robert Angel
that is the power of the Constitution, especially the Bill of Rights, and everything that went down in Romania is all again. Well, they don't have our Constitution, but I'm thinking I don't really think that the left understands the things they're fighting for. I mean, as silly as it sounds, some of them are like the freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want to say. Yes, we have the right to hate. We even have the right not to give war cries. Like you can't go into what a theater in your
Yeah,
fire because that's just like a threat that's not happening. It's like crying wolf. You're like a jerk if you do that.
but and
That's exactly
didn't in the Aurora, Colorado, I think is that where the Joker went and
mm,
did he stood in the fire exit, I think, and yelled fire and then started shooting at people as they were trying to
oh,
I guess trying to get out. I don't know if that's 100% true. It's one of the
it's
articles
bad.
that I
He was
read,
bad.
but it was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
But
you're
it,
not allowed to do that. And right now they're saying, "Oh, well, what about what freedom is not
yep,
oh,
yep,
true."
it,
Anyhow,
it's very true.
about the freedom of speech, I can't stand what they're doing. Just like you were bringing up that guy in Aurora, Ohio, what the Palestinians are doing at all the college campuses when they chant that stupid thing about from the river to the sea. They're talking about the Mediterranean to the what sea is it? I don't even know right now, but what it is it covers the whole state of Israel. They're trying to say Palestine must be free. You
Oh, the
got
Red
the
Sea,
whole
the Red
yeah,
Sea, or the
they've got the
there's
whole
two of them.
desert.
I know there's the Red Sea and there's the Dead Sea, but yeah,
It's
probably
yeah,
the
but
Red Sea.
Mediterranean. Well, they've got
Yeah,
Jordan to the Mediterranean. Yeah,
mhm.
they have the whole stinking desert, but they want that one piece of land that blooms, and it's Israel's. So what does the UN do? They're like, oh, we feel so bad and compassionate for them. So what they did is they said, well, they have no irrigation. They need water. Their land doesn't bloom. Let's work a special irrigation plan for their part of the desert, which is huge. I mean,
Yep,
Israel, you can fit into the state of Michigan 3 times, if not
right.
more. But anyhow, so what they did is the UN gave them all these PPC pipings and they, put them underground and ran it to the sea. And do you know what Palestine did? They dug them up and they made pipe bombs out of them,
Yeah,
and that's how they were able to attack Israel on what October 7th. It was ridiculous. I'm like, these people are wild.
Right.
It's so frustrating. But yeah, that is not free speech. When they're doing that on those college campuses, that is a war cry. And that is terrifying. So
Right.
I can't stand this. It's like they're really taking advantage of our amendment, our First Amendment, that it covers 5 important things. It's RAPPS. That's the freedom of religion, the freedom to assemble, the freedom of the press, the freedom to petition, and the freedom of speech. And they're
You
just
got that,
taking
Facebook? We have freedom of the press in this country.
yeah, but they're like, oh, they act like publishers. They're just really controlling. They act like
Yes, they are.
communists. Ooh, that was bad. Did I say that?
Ooh.
Anyhow, freedom of speech. Anyhow, it's so
You use
crazy
freedom
because
of speech and communists in the same session. I mean, in the same sentence.
don't bring it up, Dave. Anyhow, those are the five big things that the First Amendment gives us in the Bill of
Yep.
Rights. It talks about those first 5 things, and all of those were violated in the takedown of Romania, the nation in decline. And so, of course, they didn't subscribe to our Bill of Rights, but for us to learn from that, it's like bone chilling. Those are important things that we have, and the way they take them away, or they took them away in Romania, that's scary. It's terrifying. So that's what they're trying to do, is chip away at that, and then they can chip away at the Second Amendment, which we know protects them all and protects yourself. A gun, or a right to bear arms, or have a well-regulated militia. That's what we really need. If you're not going to have a gun, be in an area that has a good, well-regulated militia, Dave, because for your family to be protected, it's very important.
Very important. I mean, I hope, because we have a Rottweiler,
Yeah.
we have 2
I thought,
pit bulls, we have a husky, we have an Akita, we have a
oh.
Dave Globan, we have a Chihuahua who thinks she's a Doberman.
Oh, she's sweet. Delilah. She's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, I was hoping that we could talk about these attacks that are going against Trump, who I think is the only hope that we have for our nation right now, because he is respected on the world stage. I'm sorry he does mean tweets. If that's the worst thing he does, I know of this other guy who sniffs children, and has a son that, what, the laptop from hell, and now that he has a daughter that published the diary from hell. It's
Yeah.
just terrible. I'm like, I really miss the mean tweets. I really do. Compared to the guy's kid's diary and the laptop, I'll take the tweets.
How much money did Daddy Dearest make off of the publishing of her diary? I mean, I just don't buy that he's not getting a cut. I don't buy that Hunter wasn't involved in selling the publishing rights, or representing Ashley selling the publishing rights, or James Biden. You know, they must just be laughing behind the scenes with, she's going to get royalty checks for up the yin yang, because everybody's going to buy that thing. And Daddy Dearest has to be laughing inside his dementia, going,
Oh dear God.
I'm never going to have to work a day in my life again.
He never did in the first place, did he?
No, he didn't. And his net worth was nowhere near what it is today, after having become president. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
Ukraine. He's a laundromat. He is the laundromat. That's all he does. Launder.
Yeah.
That's what Ukraine is. I'm so sorry, but it is. I mean,
supposedly, I thought I heard at one point that there were like 40 other countries or 39 other countries laundering money in Ukraine.
mhm,
It's not
probably.
just the Bidens. I wish I could find somebody who could
Right.
who could honestly speak on it. But I don't know. I promised I wouldn't do any intentional Biden bashing today, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know, reading reports where people are calling him stupid, and these are supposedly people who support him, are calling him stupid. President stupid.
Yeah. He did it to himself. You don't even have to bash him. It is what it is. It's not your fault. He did it to himself.
Yep, he did. And then I read supposedly someone did a video, but they on the back of it they put a notice that it can't be published. It can't be posted on social media without their permission. So I didn't bother to try to get their permission. But It basically says that it looks like the Democrats' plan is going into their August 19th convention in Ohio, that Biden will have enough delegates to get the nomination. So he will be given the nomination. He will accept the nomination. Then they believe on June 13th, he's going to resign as the nominee, as the Democrat candidate, finish out his term, and then he's done.
We're not going to let
and on Kamala? June 13th, no. Well, Kamala may get a slight. Kamala might get a taste, but only if Biden would have to be impeached in the Senate to force him out.
Right.
Harris would only get like a month or so, a few months taste, but she's not going to be the candidate. Supposedly, Gavin Newsom will be the candidate, and because Democrats think he's the one person that can beat
Trump.
I don't think Gavin can. Randy said the other day that, you got to look at the fact that Newsom is giving all of these immigrants, illegal immigrants, tons of money. He's giving reparations to blacks who were not slaves, but their families might have been. Taxes are high, this, that, and the other thing, and whatever. And that because of that, maybe Democrats will be happy to vote him in for president, because that way he can bring those taxes to the rest of the country. Or think that he can. I honestly don't know.
What do you think? Did we talk about this? Was it your show that we talked about the people, the vagrants that were vagabonds, homeless, the people that were in, was it San Francisco?
San Francisco, yeah.
When Biden, there's a picture of Biden, Newsom, and Xi Jinping.
When Biden was there, they cleaned. Yeah, when Biden and Ping were there, I don't know where they put them, but they were not in the area.
They cleaned it up.
They were not in the area. They were not in any area that Ping was going to see. And he knows about it. So, I mean,
And then Newsom says, well, that's what you do when you have people over. You clean the place up. And I'm like, who cares about the American people that already live there? We want it to be clean for them.
Where do you put them? I mean, when I lived in Massachusetts, the town of Newton, which was right next door to Waltham, they used to supposedly pick up their homeless people from one location that was on the Newton-Waltham border, and they would drop them at the couple of homeless shelters in Waltham.
Oh, wow.
Because Newton just didn't want anything to do with it. It was an affluent town, and I'm sure people knew that there were homeless areas of Newton, but you didn't see them. But I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand. And in most of these sanctuary cities that don't want them to be visible when the president and foreign dignitaries are here visiting, do something about it. You're getting all this money. And if you And think about it. If you took the abandoned schools or the closed schools and converted them into homeless shelters,
Mm-hmm.
the money that you're paying for 5-star hotels to put these people in, even at a reduced rate that you're getting, would operate those shelters. And then go to like Detroit, Michigan, which, after Motor City shut down and left, Tyson left, and all these other big, do the same thing. Go in and build, take the money that you're spending on 5-star hotels and convert them into homeless shelters. There's a guy named Roy McDowell in Waltham. He's a construction company and contractor. Really nice guy, really good guy. And at some point, he went to Waltham and said, now I want to buy the old mill. No, he said, I bought the old Cronin's department store, and I'm building a real nice condo complex in there. Because there were a lot of the Boston Red Sox, some Celtics players, and a few other elite people wanted to move in and had already seen what their condos would look like. And so when he went to the city council before he got sent to the zoning commission, he said, "Oh, and I want to buy the Francis Scott Key Mill, the Francis Lowell Mill, one of the earliest textile mills in the country, right, and convert it to seniors, to senior living." And they said, great. So every time he went in and found someplace else he wanted to build something, they'd say, well, will you do something over here? And from what I understand, most of the time he did it.
Wow.
He did it. And if they said, oh, you got to put in, you got to put in 10 handicap or 10 senior citizen apartments, you have to put in 5 nicely equipped handicap apartments. He put in double.
Oh, wow.
And just a really great guy, a really cool guy. So I mean, there's got to be cities that when these contractors roll in and go, yeah, I want to buy Motor City, all the warehouses and buildings that Ford, the big auto companies, Tyson left, and I want to turn around and do something with it. Make them do that.
No kidding.
Sell them 2 or 3 that they can build really nice condos in. Sell them 2 or 3 at a reduced rate. Let them pay the taxes off on the piece of property. And
who do you think Newsom is going to?
Housing.
Who do you think Newsom's going to choose as a running mate?
It won't be Kamala Harris.
No.
I don't know. It has to be somebody. Well, Newsom could run for re-election in 2028 if he got elected. So it would have to be somebody who could continue on for him. And I don't know really on their side. I really don't know. I mean, I don't think of any one Democrat that could beat Trump. I'm sure there is one, but I can't think of it. I mean, if the laws changed and Barack Obama could come out of the shadows and he could run again, even without cheating, even without any cheating on either side, it would probably be a really close election.
You think? Oh my gosh, people don't like him as much.
I don't think he would run again. I don't think he would run again.
He already had his 3rd term and Biden's ear, I'm sure.
And Michelle says she doesn't want to run. She has no interest in running. She's not a politician.
Right.
And everybody says to her, well, you don't have to be a politician. Look at Trump.
But she is a woman of color. She would be a perfect. I'm kidding. She doesn't care about politics.
Kamala Harris is a woman of color.
That's why he picked her. How sexist was that? She didn't get hired because of her brains. She got hired because of her gender and her color.
I cannot figure it out. And I must be one of the dumbest citizen journalist broadcasters, because I say every time they hated each other in all the debates running for the nomination.
Right.
She dropped out because she didn't have the money. Maybe the Democrats had already contacted her and said, drop out and you'll be his VP. I don't see her being on the 2024 Democrat candidate's choice as vice president.
No,
I don't see her being on Biden's, other than she is, for all intents, sakes, and purposes, in the White House. She's the president. But I don't see anybody wanting her. Even if she went to the Democrat power brokers and said, well, you know what? If you don't make me the vice presidential nominee and run me in 2028, I know where all the bodies are and I'm going to talk. I don't think she would do that because she knows where all the bodies are, and she might talk, but then Hillary Clinton might step in, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Okay, what about this weird one? What was up with Dr. Jill? I can't stand calling her that name, but that's what they call her. She's only a doctor because she has a PhD from college in what? English
education.
Or something?
She's a teacher.
Okay, so this was weird. At the last, whatever it wasn't the State of the Union. It was something before that. But anyhow, the first lady comes down, Dr. Jill. Was it Dr. Jill? She stopped and she totally locked lips with Kamala's husband.
Yeah.
What was that about? That was the weirdest thing. Were they just trying to get back at their spouses? Because she knows she's mad at Joe, and then maybe Kamala's husband is mad at...
Somebody posted 4 pictures on a post of Dr. Jill dressed different ways. And I swear 3 of them look different, slightly different, just like people say they think there are Biden body doubles.
Right.
They look, and not maybe because she got a facelift and cleaned up and now has a makeup consultant 24/7.
Right.
Stop wearing dresses stop wearing granny sack dresses that look like they were made out of granny's curtains.
Couch. Oh my God, that's true.
Which doesn't, maybe that's what you're comfortable in and maybe that's what you wear, but you're the first lady of the United States, and all of the top designers, even if they hate you, are sending their best stuff designed for you that you could wear all the time. And when you're not in front of the cameras, wear sweats and a t-shirt. I don't care. You used to see pictures of Barack Obama working in the White House in the Oval Office on days when no one was coming in, relaxed, a pair of jeans and a polo shirt.
With the shoes on the desk. Oh my God.
But
he was...
Well, I used to do that in my office when I worked. The last year, it was drop off coffee for everybody working in the actual dispatch office, the operating office, then take mine, the Wall Street Journal, and put my feet up on the desk and sit there and read the Wall Street Journal. And nobody would bother me until one day the general manager came in and she said, I'm not buying it. And I said, what do you mean? She said, you come in every morning, you give coffee, you putz around the office room for a few minutes, checking on that, making sure everybody's happy and everything's ready to go. Then you go back to your office and you open up the Wall Street Journal. And I had it. I was still sitting there with my feet up on the desk like this. And she's like, what are you reading? You're not reading the Wall Street Journal. She's trying to grab it. And I forget. I think I had Auto Trader magazine. The one with all the ads for cars. I had that, and that's what I was reading. And she said, "I knew it. You weren't reading the Wall Street Journal." I said, "Well, I already had read it. I just didn't want to sit here like if I was reading comic books or something. I didn't want people to think that's what I was doing."
You'd be laughing at the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah,
they might find you out.
They probably know.
That's
they
funny.
probably know. They probably know. There was a time when Rupert Murdoch, who owns Dow Jones now, which is the Wall Street Journal, where he was my hero only because he came from another country, Americanized himself, and owned one of the best networks and publishing houses in the United States of America. Now I wish we should deport him back to Australia and make him live the way people are living in Australia under all the COVID quarantines.
My God, but, I know. I can't stand that. We learned that from the Jack Alexander experiment. That was good.
He has since, from what I understand, he has since retired. I talked to him a few times, and he's not doing it anymore. I have invited him on. He actually did start doing on the side of that. He started making his own meats and
awesome,
making his own meats, and I think he was selling meats to a pizza parlor or pizza chain down there. And,
is he back in the States or is he still in Australia?
No. The last time I talked to him, he was still in Australia waiting and working to get here. I guess his mother was a U.S. citizen, and I believe may have been pregnant with him, but went back to Australia, and he was born in Australia, so he's not a United States citizen.
Oh, I see.
So he's fighting on those grounds and other things. I hope he does. That was a good broadcast.
That was good.
Yep. The Jack Alexander experiment. An experiment that was really good. Okay, let's see. 8:00. We can go till 8:30. We can whatever. I don't know what your plans are. I never know what your plans are because 5:00 in on the East Coast is dinner time, but that's only 3:00 for you, so that's probably lunchtime.
Right. No.
Yes, people. I'm going to stop saying 5:00 Jen time because Jen asked me to stop.
It's mountain time. It's mountain time.
I'm going to stop saying that she is an employee of the no budget broadcast. She runs the no budget. She runs the no budget broadcasting company in Idaho. Because she's only available until she gets offered a better job. And if I keep telling the world that she works for the no budget broadcasting company and she doesn't get paid, they may not offer to give her a job that pays her. So hey guys, if you're looking for a good executive producer, someone who will get you guests, someone who will be a part of your broadcast, the Jen Woodruff Show is available.
Yeah. About that. I'm kind of busy. I can't do that. We're doing homeschooling. Well, in Idaho, their schools end on March 31st. So we are trying to jam as much as we can.
Yeah.
Any field trips they missed, all the report cards, I'm doing the special on my homeschool site it's like simple. It's just how to calculate their grades at the end of the year and how to for high school students how to write up their transcripts. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what if that guy that was president that didn't have transcripts, what if he sees my show? Because they made up a jerry-rig hodgepodge.
His Columbia University card, evidently the number that is on it was never assigned to him. It was assigned
Oh,
to somebody else.
that's
How
so funny. We're
you
talking
know
about the same
the
person without mentioning
the
any
uh,
name.
the the Social Security card.
It
He
was
probably he probably he probably didn't ask because he didn't need to know. And I'm sure to protect the president, no one is publishing his real social security, his or her real social security number because they just don't, it's information that the public doesn't need to know. Uh,
Isn't that funny? The things that they want to cover, they can cover so good. It's like
well, they would just give him a card that was in someone else's name, and and just they give him a
even though
card with someone else's number on it just because
he
like I
got a
said,
card now. Right.
he has a card. Well, no, because he's president of the United States, and he's not going to whip out his real or tell everybody on a broadcast what his real social security number is. Just another added means of of, uh, of protection. And then they also say that there is a story within your social security number. It tells supposedly the state that you were born in, or the state that you got the card in, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Mine, I'm the only one of the 5 kids who didn't get a social security card in the state that we were born in because my parents, because of things that had happened when I was born and problems that I brought into the world, they didn't get me a card. I didn't get mine until I moved to California and had to have one for summer jobs, summer school
Wow.
jobs. And then it's funny because I got it in 1978. And the last 4 digits of the card, now everybody knows, the last 4 digits of the card are 1978. So when someone asks me for my social security number, I always go blah, 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 blah. 1978. I always say 1978, the year I was born in. I mean, the year I got the card.
Funny.
But usually I think the first 3 digits are the state. Not necessarily so that you would recognize it, but the state that you got the card in. Like mine starts with a 5, and all my brother and my sisters all have 0 because they were born on the East Coast.
Oh wow!
And they got their card while they were on the East Coast. But anyway, I don't know. Will that money be here to? If you start working today, if Juju graduates and got a job and started working today and started paying into it, will that money be there when she hits 65, 70, 95, 110, whatever they keep trying to push it to?
Doubt it.
No.
She has jobs. They all have jobs, and she filed taxes for the first time this April, like last week. But just to make things more difficult, if this is the first time you're filing taxes, they won't let you do it online. She had to go to a library or a post office and get the paperwork. And then when you get the paperwork, her and Jesse were working this out. It is the most confusing thing in the world. He's like, they want 16-year-olds to go out, get their paperwork, and file their tax. It's more difficult than anything you ever saw. It's crazy. I hope she gets something back. Well, all $25.10. We'll see. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't either.
It's frustrating.
I've had a question for you, and I've never asked this before because you've homeschooled all 5 of your kids.
Yes.
So you're all 5 of their teacher. So for parent conferences, do you call Jesse in?
Only if there's a problem. Okay. But we haven't really had any problems. But I like
if she misbehaves at school, do you send a note home to Jesse?
No. Give him a cookie and say, shape up, wake up, do your work. It's not like it's so different. It's more, it was fun. And what's really awkward is that they're all about a year and a half apart, except for Juju. She's Juliana, my 16-year-old.
I'm sorry, I just like Juju.
I like it too. And so she's 4 years
Makes
behind.
Me think of that the gummy
yeah,
candies,
the gummy
Juju fruits.
Those are
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, sweetheart, she's 4 years behind the group. So
Yeah.
they were always like interacting with each other. We would read the same stories. We would sit, hi, Tina. We would sit at the same table. We would go over the same stuff. They would do spelling tests together. And especially the like skill drills and math, they would like challenge each other. So, and it was fun. We really had fun doing it. But Juju's like, Mom, it's just me and you. This isn't the same. And I'm like, oh, do you want other kids that are around to sit down with us? And she's like, no, this is weird. Oh my God. So we did as much as we could. We still do some English at home, but she wanted to, I get it. If it's not that they're not socialized, she wants to be with her friends. I get it. So she's,
Well,
she takes a couple classes at the school. She does the core stuff here at home, but she takes a couple at school to get her electives. She has a beautiful voice, so she's part of the
yeah.
choir, and I can't offer her that. So
Why not?
I don't sing that good either. But no, it's wonderful. So she has her first solo coming up. And we're excited. I'm so proud of her. But I mean, I love the freedom of homeschooling. You do what you can do, what you can't do. There is a school system, and there's also online courses. She took some of those too, but nothing like being with your friends, I guess.
Nothing like being with your friends. Nothing like being with your friends.
Right. Where they always say we don't. How do homeschool people provide socialism for their children? And I'm like, well,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
uh-huh.
How do homeschools provide socialism for their?
Oh, not like
But
socialistic.
that's what you said.
Well, I mean, like people skills. How do they talk to other kids?
Okay.
How stuff like that. But
I
then
was
they
going
go
to
to
say. I
school
was going to say we charge extra on Boogie with the Bull
to make you communist.
to teach you socialism.
Right.
Although
So
the only
they go
thing
to
I'm going to
school,
say,
get
the
in
only
trouble
thing I
for
will
talking.
say, the only thing I will say on socialism is socialism really isn't that bad if you look at it the right way. It's socialized poverty. Everybody has nothing, and
If
you
you're
like
in
it.
jail, it's great. It's
But
so
no,
sad. I know.
everybody has nothing, and you like it.
Oh, you sound like Klaus Schwab. That's what he said. Everyone will have nothing, and you will be happy. I can't. I
I've been
know.
calling him Klaus the Clown lately.
He's
And when I
still
comment on
kicking.
clouds, when I comment on those posts to say he's still kicking, it's Klaus the Clown, the leader of the World Economic Freak Show.
No kidding. All these
Because
old distant people in Switzerland, Davos.
who have
That's in Switzerland, right? Or is it Sweden? No, it's got to be Switzerland.
I think it's
Yeah.
Switzerland, but all these old guys who have all of this money, who have nothing better to do with it than think about how they will one day own the world.
Control the world. Right. And now we got the WHO. That will take our sovereignty.
Well, China, from what China owns the World Health Organization now, I think, because the head. Well, no, I don't think they're. At one time, I think China headed it. I don't know if they do anymore. But I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. It's hard to remember who does
That's
who.
the WHO, right?
Who does who? Because when I hear who, I think of Roger Daltrey and his song "Teenage Wasteland."
No, someone else.
We
right.
We were we used to get free tickets to concerts at Foxwoods because we were Rewards Club members, and we once got it was a ticket that got you in for 5 nights worth of shows. It was Roger Daltrey hosting a music camp for bands. They competed against each other, and then on the last night, they competed, and the winning band won a whole lot of money and equipment and all this, and help from Roger Daltrey. And I talked to everybody who was there the one night we went, which was the last night, I think. And they all agreed the only reason they came was they wanted to see Roger Daltrey do Teenage Wasteland.
Oh.
And I guess he did it at one of the first, there were like 5 bands that compete. The first round was like 5 bands. Then he came out and did it while the next 5 bands were backstage getting ready and trying to figure out what order they were going to be in. He came out and sang Teenage Wasteland, and then like 3/4 of the crowd left as soon as he did it.
That's all they
want. That's all we were there.
That's funny.
Yep. The best concert I ever went to was kind of not, well, it wasn't one of the best. We won tickets at a Rhode Island casino, Twin River, to see the ones that did what was it? War. It was War, and their guests were Cheech and Chong.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And after War's first segment, Cheech and Chong came out. And then I remember Cheech, the tall one, said, "It's time for us to go and bring out War." And everybody yelled, "No!" So Cheech and Chong went on for about 45 minutes, and then they got kicked off so that War could come out and do something. I think everybody left, but Cheech and Chong were done doing their show. But
oh, that's funny.
William Rayfield says they are starting to remove heads off of statues. Yes, they are. And Randy Rhodes on his broadcasts on the road to Dixie, he talks about that a lot, and it is very sad. And well, okay. Robin says personally, homeschool isn't all that great. So either come into the comment as to why you don't feel that homeschool isn't all that great, Robin. And it's not trying to get into any kind of an argument. My experience is that our 11-year-old grandson is homeschooled, and he does fantastic. And when he gets tested periodically, and you have to go to the school committee or something and get tested and show them that you're actually learning what you're supposed to be learning in a real school, not necessarily the public schools, and he places higher every time. And he's smart, and he remembers things, and he knows things, and well-rounded. I mean, he well-rounded in what he knows. He is socialized. He does karate like 4 or 5 days a week on the way to becoming a black belt. And like Jen said, she does choir and other
art, choir, drawing, things like that.
I'm sure aside from school, it has her friends and
right.
So I hear she's doing excellent at auto shop at Wealth.
Oh, that's
I guess your son.
Yeah,
I guess your son's not going to get a passing grade because the Crown Vic is not completed yet.
No, it's not. What's so funny? I love those vehicles because
I just want to see it.
Oh yeah, it's not done yet. He had to send
it out. I know.
Transmission. They're rebuilding it, and I don't know how he's going to attach it. He's like on the road. I think he's in Nevada this week. I don't know. He does road commission stuff, and I'm like, you get paid by Idaho. Why are you in Nevada? And he's tried to describe it to me, and I'm like, okay, have fun. I don't know, but I mean, it's awesome. What is she saying?
Robin says that my son's sister-in-law homeschools her kids and don't think she know what she's doing half the time. Well,
it's tough.
It can be tough, but from what I understand, there are plenty of good programs, I guess you can buy.
Curriculums
that you can buy that you actually learn. And if you're lucky enough to have parents who excelled or did well in some courses. They teach them. Our son excels in history, so he is very capable in teaching our grandson history. And he does very well.
Awesome.
You know, so I don't really know. But, like I said, the views expressed on the broadcast are those of the people speaking and commenting, and I try to give everybody a chance to do that. It's 8:20. Anything else?
No, that's it. Oh, the last thing.
This time really flew today. This time
it
actually
did.
really
We were laughing
flew.
a lot. That was fun.
Good.
No, what we talked about earlier, I was just saying how wonderful it is that Trump, bless his heart, is getting all of this. All of I don't think there's another candidate who could handle or afford half of the crap that the left is throwing at him. And I think it's just wonderful that he had all of this publicity, even though we thought it was negative, is turning out to backfire on the left. And Letitia James is going down in flames. New York is like looking stupid. You don't, it's a victimless crime. You don't convict someone or try them for raising the price on their real estate. He did nothing wrong. He didn't rip anyone off, but everyone's starting to see that he's not as bad as the guy as they thought. And so I was really happy to see his trial crash and burn in Georgia with Fani Willis, and everything. It just made her look really bad. And the same with Letitia James. Go ahead.
I believe that the DAs that brought these cases on that knew better should, if they're elected DAs, then they should not get another term. In some cases, they should probably be disbarred and tried and punished legally. The judge, Merchon, the one who told him he couldn't go to Barron's graduation, told him he couldn't go to the Supreme Court when his immunity trial, or when his immunity case gets to the Supreme Court. A lower court judge said, no, you can't go. If I was president of the United States and a judge did that to me, I would have in the Oval Office the Attorney General of the United States and Judge Merchant in my office debating what gives you the right to say that he can't go to the Supreme Court, which is higher than you. You answer to the Supreme Court. I mean, I would have looked at him politely and just said, one, Judge, Your Highness, Your Honor, whatever you want to be called.
True.
You answer to the Supreme Court. You want to go to the Supreme Court and say, I told him he couldn't go?
Yeah. He's being exonerated from everything, and it's making them look stupid. So, but that's good. Point for us.
Someone had said to me the other day they were afraid that Trump will come back in and he'll just want to get back. What's that word? It starts with an R, but I can't think of it right now. He wants to get back. He wants revenge on all the judges, the DAs, whatever, that hurt him, and that's the only reason he would go after them. And I said, no. If you asked him, he would tell you, and he said before, if this can happen to me, Donald Trump, with all this wealth and whatever, and having been a president of the United States before, imagine what it would be like if it came down on you.
Right. He's a firewall. You're right. Yep.
And if, I don't get it. I mean, I hope that the bulk of his second term is not just spent on revenge, on how do I get back to this, how do I get back to all of this. And maybe it's not necessarily getting getting judges kicked off the bench, getting DAs disbarred. Maybe it's saying, hey, you got to go back to law school and you got to learn what you can do and what you can't do as a judge. And if you say publicly before a trial even gets to your court that the person is guilty and going to be found guilty regardless of what the case shows, you should have been removed from the case. And I guess there's a link to his daughter. Merchant's daughter evidently worked for some Democrat or some Democrat group. So, I mean, if you're going to do stupid things, if you're going to play stupid games to win stupid prizes, make sure you cover yourself.
Right. And that was ironic. That is like the pot calling the kettle black. And I'm not being racist here, but I'm saying, isn't that exactly what Biden did when he got in? It wasn't revenge. Yeah. It was just complete and utter disdain.
He weaponized the Justice Department for what appears to be one reason and one reason only, making sure Donald Trump did not get the nomination and did not run against him.
And the IRS department, he gave them sidearms so they could get money as they're making money with no gold standard. But I just want to say the very first thing he did when he got in office was close down the XL pipeline. Right. I was like, you can't do that.
I thought the guns going to IRS agents didn't get approved in Congress. I don't know. But maybe I'll see if I can find anybody who can tell me either way.
Oh, I hope
because
not.
There's no reason for an IRS agent knocking on your door to have
with a sidearm
to have a gun. To have a gun. They're not coming right. Well, I think that's what the IRS told Biden that if they saw an officer walking into their house and they were just going to upchuck the money right then and there and send the IRS agent on their way. No. And there's no reason for an IRS agent coming to your house. They don't even come to your house anymore. You have to go into their office. Okay?
Right.
And if the IRS agents in an office wear guns, I'm not going to that IRS office.
No, they summon you, right?
I'm the best American citizen of all. I don't pay income tax because the state of Florida doesn't collect it. Thank you, Governor DeSantis. And my income being on the board of directors of SSDI, I don't. My income is not taxable.
Oh, awesome!
Because it was a tax to collect.
Right.
Anyway, what else? Anything else?
No, I think we're about done. Let's go. The last thing is a funny meme. I would love to find it, but it's after the 15th, so it's not great anymore, but it was cute. It's an IRS agency. And so what you see in the background is the wall, and it says the IRS, and it spells theirs, THEIRS. And the people, depicted in the picture, they're holding all their books to prove all their taxes and deductions, and they're like, yep, that pretty much is what it is. It's theirs. And so I thought that's terrifying.
There are some smart people that come up with names for things. Like I was talking to Michael Anthony recently because I was trying to just get information, and he was the first person I thought I could go to when I needed it. That evidently I saw a video on YouTube that said the pharmaceutical companies who are using mRNA with the vaccine, one of the reasons that they did it is that there is something in mRNA that interferes with something in the body, no less, interferes with something that white blood cells make something called interferon. And interferon, I guess, works with your immunity and helps keep you safe from certain things. In this case, cancer. But supposedly that mRNA interferes with interferon and reduces how it works. And there's a chance that people who got vaccinated with mRNA in their vaccination stand a chance of getting cancer.
Wow.
And dying. And then my thing was, well, so if you haven't gotten it yet, don't.
Right. What, cancer or the
The
vaccination?
jab, don't.
mRNA. Thank you.
If you haven't gotten the jab yet, don't. And if you got it, and mRNA was in it because it was in most of them. That was how the spike proteins grow in your body, or they get them into your body to supposedly keep you protected. But if you haven't gotten it, don't. YouTube is going to now spank me. So the views expressed on this YouTube broadcast of Boogie with the Bull are those of me. And if YouTube wants to, they will spank me. And just remind me that I'm not allowed to say certain things, or they'll suspend me, because for the last few months, they don't seem to suspend me anymore. They just give me a warning, you can't do this. So I can YouTube, and I did. And if I could find something better than YouTube that does what YouTube does for me, I wouldn't have YouTube anymore. But anyway.
Funny.
All right, friend, go have dinner, because it's now coming up on, what, 6:30?
Probably.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
Jen.
you, sir. All right, have a good night.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you Thursday. If I can get it all done, I'll let you know tomorrow. If I can push the test with Robert back and he can link, then if you want to do it on Thursday at 7 p.m., we will do it Thursday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I'll try to do that. That'll be fun. Okay, thank you.
All right, Jen.
Good night.
Good night. It's school mom Woodruff from, you see her all around in our group. She's an admin in all of our groups and probably a whole bunch of other groups on Facebook as well. Mom, like she said, homeschools all 5 of her kids. A fun person to have on the broadcast. It's really a lot of fun. And time just flies by. Wow. We started a little after 7. We were late, like 7:06. So at 8:36, it's been an hour and a half. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, if we can get the test with Robert Angel Little done tomorrow, and his cell phone with Chrome will connect to StreamYard, then Thursday night, Jen will interview Robert Angel Little. He'll be really interested in this guy's study from Romania into the United States and things that he has done here in the United States. Has written, I believe, 5 books, and a very interesting guy. And unfortunately, between StreamYard and the technology he has, we have not been able to get him connected, but he now has an Android cell phone that has Chrome on it, and we'll try to do a test tomorrow. And once we're sure that works, then we will have him on Thursday night live, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. If you have a topic you'd like to see us do, please message me on Facebook Messenger. Give me an idea of who you are, what you are, what you want to talk about, and we'll bring you on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and we will do it. Morning-wise, morning caffeine, 10 a.m., Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll give you the same opportunity, but we won't give you as much time. We'll give you maybe about a half hour to discuss something on the program there, because we move quickly. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern here on Facebook and YouTube, and 7 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, sometimes 10 a.m. on Saturday. Tonight, we went back to our roots. We were live on Facebook. We were live on YouTube. We were live on at Boogie WT Bull, at Boogie WT Bull, which is our X account. You can follow me there at Boogie WT Bull, BOOGIE WTHBULL, at Boogie WT Bull. We were live there tonight. We were live on my StreetLock profile. So go to StreetLock, StreetLoc.com, StreetLock.com, or message me and ask me for a link, and I will give you one. Let's see. We'll probably post tonight on True Social tomorrow, and we will probably post it on a few other places. And if you think of another place, please take it. If you're on X, follow at Boogie WT Bull, and then take Boogie with the Bulls and retweet them every time you see one. I would appreciate that. Viewership is slowly growing, but not a lot of people have an hour and a half to sit and watch a broadcast throughout the day. But we're going to work on it and try to get more growth on X. Anyway, I'm Dave Logan. You're not. This is part of the broadcast where I tell you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Thursday Night Live, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. The views expressed are those of myself and those in the live chat and those that you see on the screen. Equal time is given to responsible parties with opposing views. That means if you disagree with something that you read in the live chat or disagree with something that you heard someone say on the broadcast, you are welcome to come on to a future broadcast as long as that person that you disagreed with is willing to come on, and the two of you can talk it out and hopefully convince each other, or not convince each other, but no one's taken the opportunity to do that, and so we haven't done it yet. But it is something that is available. Anyway, I'm Dave Wilman. You're on. It's 8:36. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast has come to an end, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with Randy Rhodes, if his gout allows him to be on. If not, it will be me, and maybe I'll see if William Rayfield wants to join us, if he's up and awake at 10 a.m. And Keith Pribble, if you're watching and you're able to join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, you are welcome too. And if you watch tonight and you don't watch in the morning, then watch in the morning. Drink a cup of coffee with us and share your thoughts on what is going on in your world. So double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast has come to an end. We're going to slip up here, drop down one more time. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going.